This program contains rare films of World War II originally shot in color, found during a 2-year worldwide search. Much of it has never been seen on television before. These films are presented now in high definition. Some images are graphic in nature, and viewer discretion is advised. Previously on World War II in HD.
Never before have we been called upon for such a prodigious effort.
America goes to war.
Never before have we had so little time in which to do so much.
The Allies take on Hitler's forces in North Africa and Sicily and push them out.
If we can stand up to him, all Europe may be free.
While in the Pacific, reporter Richard Tregaskis is embedded with the Marines as they take the fight to the Japanese.
I came here to see some action, and I intend to go in with the first assault wave.
His unflinching account of the battle on Guadalcanal brings the reality of the war home to millions of Americans.
I passed bodies of Marines, Japs, sometimes tangled as they had fallen in a death struggle. I get the awful feeling of being pitifully small, just a tiny particle caught up in the gigantic whirlpool of war.
Grant us a common faith that man shall know bread and peace, that he shall know justice and righteousness, freedom and security, an equal opportunity and an equal chance to do his best, not only in our own lands, but throughout the world. My fellow Americans, this war has reached a new critical phase. We have moved into active and continuing battle with our enemies. We are pouring into the worldwide conflict everything that we have. Our young men and the vast resources of our nation. Making airplanes, and guns, and ammunition.
By the fall of 1943, nearly 2 years after the attack on Pearl Harbor, America's war machine is operating at maximum capacity. Running 24 hours a day, America's shipyards are turning out warships at an incredible pace. The American Pacific Fleet is now larger than the navies of all the warring powers.
The American people have accomplished a miracle.
Americans don't realize it. but we're losing the war. I know we have the machines to fight this war. But the question is, do we have the guts?
34-year-old Time Life magazine correspondent Robert Sherrod is on a transport with over 1,000 Marines steaming west through the Pacific Ocean. Only 4 years earlier, he helped establish the magazine's Washington bureau. Working in the capital, he developed a personal relationship with President Roosevelt. But with the outbreak of the war, Sherrod jumped at the chance to become a combat reporter. All during 1942, he witnessed the ferocity of the Japanese military as it advanced through the Pacific. Now, as he heads toward his next assignment, Sherrod worries that America's youth lacks the will to fight our enemies.
This generation isn't mentally prepared to bridge the gap between the comforts of peace and the horrors of war.
In the 8 months following their victory at Guadalcanal, U.S. forces have pushed the Japanese back in the Solomon Islands and New Guinea. The time is now right to begin attacking the chain of remote island outposts that allow Japan to project its air power deep into the Central Pacific. Sherrod and the 2nd Marine Division are steaming toward an atoll called Tarawa in the Gilbert Islands. Captured from the British just 3 days after the attack on Pearl Harbor, Tarawa is situated just 1 degree off the equator and consists of 24 islands enclosing a central lagoon. The main Japanese base at Tarawa is on the island of Baishia, where they have built a 4,000-foot-long runway for land-based twin-engine bombers. Although of great strategic importance, Baishio is as small as New York City's Central Park. Despite its size, the island is heavily fortified with 500 bunkers, blockhouses, and other emplacements. And it is defended by almost 5,000 well-trained and well-equipped Japanese Imperial Marines.
Tomorrow, I will take 2 fresh notebooks. If I'm killed, I don't want the Japs to learn anything about us from the notes I've made during this convoy trip. I'm told by the time this thing is over, our ships will have fired 2,000 tons of shells, and the planes will have dropped 900 tons of bombs. The admiral in charge of the shelling is confident we'll bomb the place clean off the map.
Roger that, Baker 186. This is FDO 161. I read you loud and clear. Go ahead, over. Requesting fire. Target, platoon size infantry force in the open. Illumination followed by HP condensation on map coordinates 582, extending 2.
Our ships deal a merciless blow to the Japs. No mortal man could live through such destroying power.
Batio and the neighboring islands are rocked by the bombardment. The first waves of Marines climb into their amphibious tractors, known as Amtraks, and strike out for the shore. Sherrod is part of a small band of reporters and Marine combat cameramen following in flat-bottomed Higgins landing craft. These Marine cameramen have been assigned to document the invasion using handheld IMO cameras and color film. Since this will be the Marines' first amphibious landing against a heavily defended Japanese island, Marine Corps leaders want a record of what happens.
The mood is optimistic. A young lieutenant asks me why I haven't written a book yet. I tell him I'm just waiting for a real story.
My buddy looks at me and says, "Well, Marv, just remember to use your head for something besides a helmet holder and you will make it out of this war alive."
"20-year-old Marine Nolan Marbury has just landed on the island of New Britain with the 1st Marine Division, on loan to the Army as part of America's Southwest Pacific Offensive. Over a year ago, Marbury signed up with the Marines as a way to get out of his hometown of Huntsville, Alabama. This is his first time in combat.
I can hear the sound of artillery and small arms fire in the distance. I got a tight feeling in my stomach.
Located over 1,000 miles southwest of Tarawa, New Britain is one of the most important links in Japan's chain of island outposts in the South Pacific. Their sprawling air and naval base complex at Rabaul on the island's northeastern tip has been the nerve center for Japanese combat operations in that region since early 1942. The American plan is not to storm Rabaul, but to encircle it, cutting off supply lines and rendering the stronghold militarily irrelevant. If the two-pronged Allied sweep through the Central and South Pacific is to be successful, New Britain, like Tarawa, must be taken.
It's a hell of a time to make new friends, but the lieutenant's pairing us up with new foxhole buddies. He wants rookies like me with experienced vets. My new partner is a guy named Les. He saw lots of action on Guadalcanal. That should come in handy. It's our first night on the island. It's hard to sleep. We hear rifle fire somewhere ahead of us. And the Japs, they're making noises in the jungle. They even yell out in perfect English, "Bob Hope, go to hell," and "F Babe Ruth." Trying to piss us off, hoping that we'll fire on them and give away our position. Les tells me if I see a Jap to use my knife and go for the throat. We keep pushing forward, but this grass is so thick we barely go anywhere.
Rookie Marine Nolan Marbury and his veteran comrade Les trudge deep into the jungle of New Britain. Marbury has survived his first several nights on the enemy-held island. He and his platoon are now setting out on their mission. The objective is to secure a nearby hilltop where Japanese observers are calling down artillery on the surrounding area.
We fall in behind the tanks, and they blast our path forward with round after round of shells. And Les tells me just keep firing. Don't matter if you don't hit anything, just keep firing and keep moving.
But as the tanks move deeper into the jungle, they get bogged down in New Britain's dense undergrowth and muddy streams. The men will have to face the enemy without the protection of their armor.
We run into a bunch of 7th Marines heading the opposite way. Man, they look beat. One of them looks at me and says, "Good luck."
As we get closer in, I can see there are no Higgins boats on the beaches. Something is not right. Should be hundreds of them by now.
Time Life correspondent Robert Sherrod is on a landing craft with the 2nd Marine Regiment, headed toward the island of Baishio in the Tarawa Atoll.
An officer on another boat shouts that the shelf around the island is too shallow for our Higgins boats.
The Marine assault plan is based on a deadly miscalculation. The Higgins boats need 4 feet to clear the coral reef surrounding the island, but the tide is only 3 feet deep. The boats are getting stuck, forcing the Marines to jump into the surf and wade hundreds of yards to shore, where the Japanese are waiting for them. Only lightly armored Amtraks, which can crawl up and over the coral, are able to make it past the reef. Sherrod transfers from the Higgins boat to an Amtrak and moves toward the beach.
Our Amtrak's boss yells that he can't go any closer. He can't risk losing the craft. Too many of them are getting hit already. We have to jump off, 700 yards from shore. I look around, and I see fear. The machine gun fire is getting thicker. Mortars whine overhead, targeting the Higgins boats still struggling out on the reef. A Jap shell makes a direct hit. And parts of the boat fly in all directions. Bullets hit 6 inches to my left, 6 inches to my right, and I swear I can reach out and touch 100 of them.
Using a pier as cover, Sherrod makes it to the beach and ducks behind the seawall.
Everyone going over that wall is raked by machine guns and snipers. Men are getting killed and wounded every minute. Casualties are piling up on the beach, and there's nowhere to put them. I've been ashore less than an hour, and already I can smell the death.
With the death toll rising rapidly, the ranking officer in charge of the assault calls off further landings. He then sends an urgent message to command, stating that he will have to send in the reserve troops the next day. He ends with the ominous words, "Issue in doubt." The Marines already on shore will have to hold their small strip of sand through the night.
My knees shake. My whole body trembles like jelly. And I am quite certain that this will be my last night on Earth.
Corporal says he needs 4 guys to go with him on a patrol to see what the Japs are up to.
Private Nolan Marbury and the 5th Regiment of the 1st Marine Division have been in the jungles of New Britain for over 1 week. They've secured their objective, a hilltop position from which Japanese forces were directing artillery fire. But they know the enemy has taken up defensive positions somewhere in the jungle ahead. Marbury's platoon leader wants to send a patrol out to find them.
Corporal calls out 2 guys who are on the canal. A guy named Lucky, my buddy Les, and he calls my name, and this other rookie, Benson, actually volunteers. Hell, I'm not even in the same class as those guys.
The 5-man patrol descends the hill, probing for the enemy. But after several hours, they realize they've become hopelessly disoriented.
Les finally mutters what we're all thinking. We're lost. The corporal's shot. I spot the Jap bastard about 100 yards away and open fire. He topples to the ground. Lucky fires around, starts running, screaming over his shoulder for us to do the same. The Japs are coming from everywhere. Benson gets hit. He's down, he's yelling. But there's no time to stop. I turn to look for Lucky. But he stopped the bullet. He's dead. There's nothing we can do. Les and I duck behind a tree and load up for our last stand. The sounds of firing and artillery are getting louder. My head is starting to feel weary. My body can't stop shaking. The Japs are fading back into the jungle. Why? We can't believe it. A battalion of Marines is right behind us. It must be the 7th. Les and I hug each other, and the tears start flowing. When we get back to K Company, we're greeted by slaps on the back and calls of enjoy your vacation. But they get real quiet when we tell them about Ray Benson and Lucky.
After 2 long weeks in the jungle, Marbury and the 5th Marine Regiment are ordered back to the beaches and told their mission on New Britain is over.
Coral flats are a sad sight. The smell of death. That sickly, sweet odor of decaying human flesh is oppressive.
Time Life correspondent Robert Sherrod surveys the blood-soaked beaches of Baishio in the Tarawa Atoll in the Central Pacific. Less than 24 hours ago, the Marines launched an amphibious assault on the heavily defended Japanese garrison. Of the 5,000 Marines who hit the beaches, 1,500 are now dead or wounded.
I wish this could be seen by all those silken-voiced radio announcers back in the States. This is what war really is. Death. All 3 assault battalions from yesterday are groggy, if not completely knocked out. Our organization has been ripped to pieces. We have to have more men, and fast.
Although they have held the beach throughout the night, the Marines there are in dire straits. They need the reserve forces stationed on the ships 2 miles offshore. Makes a difficult decision. Commit the floating reserve force and attempt to land them using Higgins boats, knowing full well that, like the day before, they might not be able to clear the coral reef that rings the island. Thousands of lives, if not the fate of the entire operation, are on the line.
This is far worse than it was yesterday.
Reporter Robert Sherrod is pinned on the beach of Baishio as the second day of the American invasion begins. Desperate to land more troops on the beaches, the Corps commander has decided to send in reinforcements, even though the landing boats may not be able to make it over the coral reef hundreds of yards offshore.
It's hard to stomach. Here I am, scribbling notes on my pad, while men are being killed around me. bombers blast boats stuck on the reef. The men have to wade to shore, right into the teeth of the Jap machine guns. Within minutes, I count at least 100 dead Marines. But they just keep coming.
Although the initial waves sustained staggering casualties, by late afternoon the Marines finally have the numbers to begin overwhelming the Japanese defenses. Marines on the beach push over the seawall and begin to knock out the Japanese firing positions, paving the way for more reinforcements, armor, and artillery to land on the beach.
We are winning, but we still have to dig out every last Jap from every last pillbox, and that will cost us a lot of Marines. The Japs' only chance now is our men being soft. They will grow sick of our losses. But of this I'm certain. These Marines are not too soft to fight.
I want to report on the drama of men locked in a death struggle. Their lives at stake. Not this.
International News Service correspondent Richard Tregaskis is in Sicily. Just over a year ago, he completed his first combat reporting assignment, covering the harrowing battle on Guadalcanal. Since then, he's been obsessed with returning to the front. He arrived in Sicily weeks after a tremendous Allied invasion force landed on the island's southern coast. But before he could reach the front, the Allies chased the Germans and Italian forces north to Messina, where they crossed the strait and escaped into Italy. Now, the Germans are dug into Italy's mountainous terrain, awaiting the Allies' arrival.
This morning, the radio announced that Allied troops have landed on the southern tip of Italy. This mission may be the hottest in the history of the war, and I damn well better be a part of it. For me, the lure of the front is like an opiate. There's just something about being in the middle of a battle, alive, yet inches from death. The thought of the danger itself stirs the imagination.
On September 3rd, 1943, the British 8th Army crosses the Strait of Messina and lands at Calabria. 5 days later, Italy officially surrenders to the Allies. But when the U.S. 5th Army cruises into the Bay of Salerno on September 9th to establish a beachhead in central Italy, the Germans put up an unexpectedly strong defense. Hitler has no intention of giving up Italy without a fight. His reinforced armies start setting up strategic defensive positions in the mountains throughout central Italy. As the American troops push north toward Naples, Tregaskis follows closely behind.
I enter a small village. There is destruction everywhere from artillery fire and German demolition crews. The Germans blew up whole buildings in an effort to hold up the Allies' progress. Townspeople pick bodies out of the wreckage. A man in broken English tells me the Nazis are animali tutti, all animals. For the First time in a long while, I have a bang-up eyewitness story of an action in a crucial section of the front.
After pursuing the front for weeks, combat reporter Richard Tregaskis joins the action near the Volturno River, northeast of Naples. There, Allied paratroopers and mortarmen are trying to dislodge German artillery spotters from a mountain cave.
Our heavy mortars are giving the Germans hell. A major turns to me and says, "It's great fun as long as we're dishing it out and not taking it." I hear the scream of something coming. Everything is all wrong. Strange. My helmet is a few feet away. I can see men running at half crouch. I try to shout, but strange sounds come out of my mouth. I know what I want to say, but I can't say it. Everything sounds unreal. Like a movie with a feeble soundtrack. A medic skids to a halt next to me. I watch his morphine needle slide in. Then he's gone. I try to dictate a story about being wounded, but the effort of concentration is so great that after 4 attempts, I give up the idea.
1 month after getting hit by a German mortar round, Richard Tregaskis is in an evacuation hospital near Naples. Shrapnel and bone fragments have penetrated his brain, affecting his speech, his motor skills, and his thought processes.
How can I be a writer with the self-expressive powers of an idiot? A journalist who can't talk, write, or read. There are just no shortcuts to healing, so I have to be patient. Not my long suit. It occurs to me it's just like this war. It will take time, determination, and persistence to restore this mutilated world of ours to a semblance of order.
The fire from a burning pile of rubble has reached 6 Jap bodies. They sizzle and pop as the flame consumes the flesh and gases.
After 76 hours of brutal close-quarters combat, correspondent Robert Sherrod is surveying the aftermath on what, only days before, was one of Japan's most formidable garrisons in the Central Pacific. Nearly each of the Japanese Imperial Marines has been killed in action, and most of those who were not committed suicide. The island, which is less than 1 square mile, is littered with the bodies of over 6,000 American and Japanese troops.
Bodies are scattered around the food dump. They're blown to 100 pieces. A hand here, A head there. A hobnailed foot farther away.
While Sherrod continues to cover the action for another 4 days, the Marine combat cameramen who also came ashore document the aftermath. This is footage of Marine Sergeant Norman Hatch, the ranking combat cameraman on Tarawa. In all, Hatch and his crew of motion picture cameramen shoot 3,700 feet of film, vivid, moving images of the invasion, the combat, and the carnage.
World News Today, brought to you by Continental Radio. Within the past hour, our Army and Navy announced new air blows against the Japs in the north and south.
WMAQ. But a base will be of no use unless we can get supplies to it.
In the months following the Tarawa battle, final casualty reports of almost 1,000 Marines killed and more than 2,000 wounded prompt Americans to ask why so many had to die, invading such a tiny atoll when it could have been bombed into oblivion.
The implications of all this are enormous.
At the same time, the Marines edit the footage shot by Norman Hatch and his team, turning it into a documentary film. But the pictures are far too graphic to meet the standards set by Hollywood producers and distributors. Only President Roosevelt can grant permission for its release. To help him make a decision, the president seeks counsel from the only man who was there that he personally knows and trusts, Robert Sherrod.
I tell the president the truth. Our soldiers on the front want people back home to know that they don't knock the hell out of them every day of every battle. They want people to understand that war is a horrible, nasty business. And to say otherwise is to do a disservice to those who died.
These are the men of the 2nd Marine Division.
At Sherrod's prompting, Roosevelt agrees to release the film uncensored.
Suddenly we're met by heavy machine gun and mortar fire. Takes a heavy toll of our boats and men. It doesn't stop us.
With the Marines at Tarawa, wins the Academy Award for Best Documentary Short Subject in 1945. The film also boosts the sales of war bonds and galvanizes the public support for the American war effort.
I have a suspicion that when this war does end, we shall not be in a very celebrating mood, a very celebrating frame of mind. I think that our main emotion will be one of grim determination that this shall not happen again.